in Australia, we have legal cannabis, and we have become very serious about using psychotherapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, and many people to support the deep healing of our mental conditions using medical cannabis. So cannabis is a plant, and whether that plant is growing in the ground or in a bioreactor lab, it is a natural plant that has so many different uses. You can see here we can make bioplastics, we can make paper, we can make fuel, we can make textiles from this wonderful plant. Textiles is an example here. Foods, really high nutrition, protein, essential fatty acids, bioplastics you can see over here, skincare and topical products, building materials, all from this one amazing plant. You can even make weight loss supplements by using tetrahydrocannabinol, which is THCV for short. So we know all of these medical benefits with cannabis and all the different cannabinoids that you can produce in bioreactors or you can produce in the soil. But today, we're going to talk about some of the other medical uses. You may have heard of cannabis for pain relief, neuroprotective relief, reducing anxiety. There are so many different medical uses, but we're going to talk about cannabis as a psychedelic substance particularly. So why do we need this? There is a massive worldwide mental health problem. Anxiety and depression affect nearly 500 million people around the world. That's a lot of people. 15%. That means quite a few people in this room have a mental health condition today. It's normal now that these issues exist. And in fact, in Australia, 1 in 7 people use an antidepressant of some form. Suicide is the most common cause of death in Australia. It is very significant mental health problems. And in Thailand, it's not much different. And in 2022, 103 people, that's 10% of people. 1 in 10 people have a mental health disorder. Okay? 20% of Thai respondents suggested they had mild to extreme depression. Okay? So, at 11% of the Thai population is at risk of suicide. Okay? It's a serious issue, this mental health problem today. So we have to do something different. I am suggesting here today that cannabis is the something different that we need to talk about. So, cannabis as a psychedelic medicine, is it safe? That's always the first and a very important question. So, the professor of psychiatry at Harvard University, one of the top universities in the world, said there were no deaths from cannabis anywhere, anytime, ever, directly. So, this is a phenomenal statistic. In fact, cannabis is safer than water. Safer than water. You can die easier from water than you can from cannabis. Okay? So I'm not saying that everyone should take cannabis, but I'm saying it's safer than water. So this is a very important statistic. So why don't we know about the use of cannabis as a psychedelic medicine? Well, you're learning about it today, so I hope you tell somebody that cannabis can be used as a true psychedelic medicine. And it's probably because of these things. Marijuana or cannabis has had a bad rap for a long time. There has been challenges because there's been a war on drugs for all of the many uses and the different opinions people have on cannabis. So, how does cannabis as a psychedelic substance work? I'm going to explain that to you today. This is something novel and new, so I really hope you're listening. Come along, bring your friends. You don't have to stand back there. There's still some seats over here. You're welcome to join us.
You guys, you have to get listen here.
Yeah, I know. The endocannabinoid system is the CB1 and CB2 receptor. This is how the endocannabinoid system generally works in all these different parts of our body, throughout our body. Every single one of you has a system built for the endocannabinoid system. But cannabis is actually a psychedelic specifically. As well as working on the CB1 dopamine activation, it actually involves in regulating serotonergic functions, okay? And most importantly, it modulates the signaling of the serotonin 5-HT2A receptors. This is the same way that psychedelics or traditional ones like LSD, psilocybin work and help people for different ways. So this is the actual process. This is a protocol that has been created by some of the best professors, doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists in Australia to offer the world. And it involves all of these different things: preparation, setting, experience, grounding, integration, and more integrations. Very simplified form, this is how you can have a deep, spiritual, traditional use of cannabis in a truly medicinal way. So how does that start? It first starts by having a connection with your client. Say, I'm going to be a facilitator. You need to have a medical intake form. You need to know that you're suitable physically, mentally, and spiritually, ready to have a true, deep, healing psychedelic experience using cannabis. Then you need to be in the right mind frame. You need to really know why you're going to come and have a cannabis psychedelic experience. If you've had a negative experience with cannabis before because you had an edible or cookie of some form, it was probably because you took a lot of cannabis and you didn't know why you were taking it. Someone said, hey, try this, and you have a bad, dizzy experience, and you're probably never going to take it again, so you thought. I'm here to tell you, you probably should take it again, and it is when you understand why you want to take it. If you take cannabis because you want to have a healing experience, because you want to get better, you are setting your mind on a journey for healing. This is a critical way of using medical cannabis. The next part is the setting, where you take it. If you go and take a cookie in this trade show today, under these fluoro lights, with all these people that you don't know, probably not the best place to take cannabis. My suggestion. Now, maybe if you're very used to it, that's okay. I'm suggesting, though, if you go to nature, okay, and we're holding a retreat in Koh Samui in a week, by the way, to offer cannabis psychedelic experiences. So if you want to have a chat about that, then come and see us after. But having an experience in nature is a very important part of the cannabis psychedelic experience, or having it being somewhere safe at the very least. Okay? Then that ritual. Ritual is something that has been used for thousands of years throughout the world. Having a way to have a very humble and truthful experience with the plant. Okay? There are different ways to run rituals. It doesn't have to be religious, but it can be it's a very important aspect. Using technologies that have been around for thousands of years, that we all have, using our breath, using our mind, using Buddhist techniques of mindfulness meditation, using techniques of breath work. These are all critical tools that can be used to deepen the experience and not just get high. We also use different technologies, more modern technologies called technodelics. Technodelics are talking very similar to like the pulsed electromagnetic fields that we heard about before, the vibrations of sound and light. These are sound beds. These are light machines that we have here in Thailand. You can now use and experience to affect our bodies, which are just vibrational beings. So these are massive experiences that all go to do the inner work, because the inner work happens inside. It's not something outside. If someone is having a psychedelic experience, from the outside it looks like they might not be doing anything. From the inside, it may be the deepest and the biggest experience they've ever had in their entire lives that will change the path of their life forever. So the medicine, of course, using cannabis as a medicine is a critical part of this. Now, when I say using cannabis as a medicine, it means using it in the most natural form possible. Now, it's generally the flower that comes off the plant. Now, and to consume that flower, to use it in the safest, most gentle way is absolutely critical. So usually using a vaporizer to burn or to vaporize the substances, the cannabinoids, the terpenes, the flavonoids, the esters, the alcohols, and all the other minor ingredients in the most gentle form so that you can absorb that in your body is the healthiest way to experience that part of the medicine. So it has, because it has all over these 400 chemicals, because it can be consumed in all these different ways, it's extremely complex and not something to be taken lightly if you want to have a true healing experience with this magical plant. So, what does it feel like? These are some of the things that people share, that they have deep insights through old memories, that it changes their lives forever. We're not talking about, oh, I got high and I got stoned. We're talking on something that comes on as strong as some of the most powerful plant medicines that exists. To have visuals as powerful and as strong as you get through DMT, which is a substance, if you know what that is, then you know. So it's a very powerful experience is the general part. And all of these experiences must be finished with grounding, which means that coming back to the earth, coming back from the inside journey, maybe to another universe, that back into the world, because there's no point having these experiences without having a real change in how you live your life today. So these are really crucial parts of the overall experiences. The grounds often just journaling. There is a lot of science, there is a lot of research showing that writing down your experiences is a very simple and very powerful way of creating those experiences to be long-lasting in everyday life. So this is where integration begins, and it continues, because integration is not just takes 5 minutes and then you can go off and repeat these things again. In fact, when you have a psychedelic experience, you generally don't need to repeat that maybe ever in your entire life. Maybe not for at least a few years. It's not something you would do on a weekend just for fun. It's a really big, powerful life experience. And this is the true use of medical cannabis. There are a lot of testimonials I can share with you on our website from people around the world who are starting to explore the true medicinal use of medical cannabis based upon science, based upon doctors, based upon psychological experiences using other psychedelic medicines, but simply with the safest natural plant medicine that there is, medical cannabis. So if you want to learn how to become a psychedelic therapist, then come and talk to us. Come and visit our website. You can get a free ebook on the subject. I'm here to disseminate information so you can understand how to have these experiences yourself, how you can share this with other people to have these experiences. And if you really want to learn from all of these amazing people from around the world, who are professors and doctors and specialists in all their different forms, these are all part of the teaching and the learnings of this course, of this protocol and this method of truly using medical cannabis for its absolutely potential. So as I said, very briefly today, this is just a short, tiny introduction of the medical use of cannabis. And you can come and experience this with me and my friends here in Koh Samui at the end of next week. You can book this now or learn more information, and we're happy to talk to you after this time. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.